Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by the In Trive. This is the In Trive Talks. I am your host, Ciera Payton, and today I have a very cool guest for you. But before we get started and jump into it, I need you to just stop what you're doing and go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button below. Do it now because I have more of these videos coming out and you're going to love everything that you're going to see and hear and experience. All right, so today's guest, she's a very special treat to you all and to me as well because I've never met her before personally, but we've been exchanging messages over the last few months to try to make this happen. And so I'm so excited to have her on board. Her name is Ashley Miller, and she is a fellow YouTuber here. And one of the things that I love about Ashley, other than her always keeping it real and voicing her opinion, is that she reviews the Oval. So, Oval fans, this is for you. We're going to sit down and talk with Ashley and hear all about her journey and her story, and a little bit about how she got started with reviewing videos, TV shows, and movies on YouTube. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome Ashley Miller. All right, so I just introduced Ashley Miller, and she is here with us on Zoom doing an In Trive Talks interview. Ashley, thank you so much for hopping into the In Trive. I really
You're
appreciate it.
so very welcome.
Awesome. How
So
you doing today? How you doing?
I'm doing good actually. I'm just at home chilling in my new place, so I'm just happy about that. So I'm
Nice.
good.
Nice. All right. Well, and you're in Chicago, right?
hmm
Okay, cool.
Chicago, born and raised.
Nice. I got some family out there. I've been out to Chicago twice in my life. I think the first time I went, it was below 10 degrees, and I think the second time it
Mm-mm.
was below 17 or something like that. And I was like, wait a second.
You
Like,
gotta come out here during the summertime.
yeah, that's what my cousins are always saying.
Summertime Chicago, spring Chicago is just the best. It's
Really?
nothing compares. It really does.
Yeah.
So
I got to
you
get
came
out there
out
for
here.
sure. It's like I know too many people who live out there. Like I said, I got family out there, so it's just it's about time to get back out
So
there
you
again.
must have came out here like up in January or something.
Both times was like January, February, and I just didn't know. I didn't know it could be that cold. Like I'm from New Orleans, so I
You
was
know, it's like 60 something, 70 something degrees today, and it's been like that for the past few days. So I just got
wow.
a feeling like it's about to be a really cold winter.
Oh
So
Lord. Well,
we're about to buckle
I'm
up.
all right. Well, I'm sending you a little something, so hopefully it'll help to keep you warm. But that's gonna be there in a few weeks. All right. So I just want to dive into it. I love doing this because I just want people to hear other people's stories. I feel like we're all just collaborating these days and how we create content. And so I love what you've been doing. And so I just wanted to give you a platform to just share who you are and what your story is. And so my first question for you, really, it's like kind of a clump of questions, but I'm just curious to know, we've already established that you're from Chicago, but like what's your zodiac sign? What did your parents do? All of that stuff. Like, just those little details. I mean, even like, we could get into it later, but like what's your favorite food or something. But I just want to know a little bit about who is Ashley.
Zodiac sign, I'm a Capricorn.
All right. When's your
You
birthday?
know, January 7th.
All right. I'm a January
So
baby, but I'm Aquarius, so.
my sister's an Aquarius. My sister's birthday literally is like 2 weeks after mine.
Oh,
So
nice.
she missed the mark by a couple of days. She could have been
Hold
a
on.
Capricorn.
When is your sister's birthday?
January 22nd.
Okay, I'm January 26th. I was about to say, hold on a
See,
second.
all in the same area. Y'all Aquarius. Y'all
I was
some
gonna ask.
interesting time. I'm
We
like, what?
uh we are definitely an eclectic bunch, I would say, especially the January Aquariuses, I guess.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm very true to what they say Capricorn's supposed to be, all about just trying to get things in order, not so spontaneous, but we like to work. We like to just do what we have to do. We're about our money. We're about just progressing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very much that. It's giving me a chance to like break out a little bit and to
Uh-huh.
do a little things a little bit more different. So I'm here for it. when it comes to like I said, I was born and raised in Chicago, been here all my life. My parents, well, my mom, she's doing data analyst or whatever for like the American College of Surgeons out here. I work in the library system, and my father, he just retired from the library system. So,
Wow.
you know, and honestly, that's like the only job that I actually had since I graduated from high school, actually. And my degree played into it to get the promotions that I got. So,
All right. Well, we got to hear about these promotions though, really quick, because I didn't know any of this. So
because
what is it?
when you
Mhm.
start off, if you didn't have a degree in certain areas in the library, now let me tell you this: I did not know that you really needed a degree in certain areas in the library system.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But you have to have a degree in library science to actually become a librarian. But
Wow.
underneath that, if you don't have that degree, you can be a librarian associate. That's literally just one step away from being a librarian. It's just that you don't have the degree, but you're basically doing everything else that they're doing. It's really crazy. And then underneath that is a clerk, and then there is like the pages, which is the lowest rank. And so I started off as a page, went up to the clerk, and on the way to the library associate. So thinking about staying a little bit more, but heavily it's been on my mind to probably go somewhere else, look for something else.
Okay.
And I know people been asking, like, do you think about just using social media as like your main source of income, or, just making that your main thing? And I'm just not, I don't think I'm there yet. I'm not too
Okay.
comfortable there. Like I could if I wanted to, but just for me personally, it's like a security thing to have just a regular job that that if something happens or whatever, you can just fall back on that. So that's what I feel like. I'm gonna just give it a couple more years, a few more years at the library system, and then I don't know, probably find something else. Because I've
Okay.
been there since I was 18, and I'm now
Wow.
35. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you and I are about the same age. That's so interesting though.
Is
I
I?
find that that's like super fascinating because I mean, you said your dad worked in library systems, but is that really the catalyst that got you into going into library system, or was it something that you just were like, "Hey, I'm interested in this. I want to get into it."
My father was in it, and then my mom was like, fill out this application. You know how mothers
Hmm.
are.
Yeah.
Back then, like she dictated everything that I did. I said, girl, I wanted to go out of state for college. She said no.
Mm.
Because I wanted to go to Clark Atlanta, and at
Oh
first
yeah.
I wanted to go to Spelman, then I wanted to go to Clark Atlanta, couldn't go there. Wanted to go to University of Illinois, I think in Champaign, couldn't
Mm.
go there because she still didn't want me to go out the state, or I should say
Wow.
out the city. Wound up going to DePaul University because a friend of mine's actually graduated from there. So I was
Hmm.
like, okay, cool. And she said a lot of good things about it. It just so happened that the library was right across the street from my school. So that was the most convenient thing. And I went in there, did the little interview, and it took a minute before I heard anything back from it. And it was like literally 2 weeks before I started school that I heard back that, you got the job. And I said, that's great because that
Wow.
helped me pay for books, transportation, and everything. So my mama was glad because she didn't have to
Yeah.
pay for a lot of stuff. So, you know,
Yeah.
the responsibility and stuff. So I was like, all right. But then when I got in there, I was like, is this what it's supposed to be? But as time grew on, I grew to love it. Yeah, like I said, I feel like I'll give it a few more years
Hmm.
because they're
Yeah.
doing a lot of changes. But it's really a nice job if you really think about it. And some people probably think that the library system is not that stressful. It is stressful to a certain
Really?
extent.
Well, I
Yeah.
do follow you on Twitter, so I do see some of your tweets
You
of
see
stuff
some of the stuff? Oh
that
my
like
goodness.
is going on. So,
And right now, though, I don't know if it's like a nationwide thing, but I know out here in Chicago, it's a staff shortage. Ever since the
oh wow.
pandemic happened, it's just been a staff shortage. Once we get some people, they're not as qualified and they have to
Mm.
leave or some stuff happen. We done ran through a whole bunch of people and we still understaffed. That's sad
Wow.
because we
Wow.
didn't work.
That's
Work.
crazy.
Like this is the only day that I had off this whole week. And then I gotta
Wow.
go. I work tomorrow, I work this weekend. So yeah, it's a lot. I wouldn't change it.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
grateful to
look,
have some.
It's a very like it's a I don't know, I find it really cool and fascinating. You know what I'm saying? Like I love
Mhm.
going to the library myself. People be thinking I'm, a nerd or whatever, but I'm like, nah, like it's quiet. I
I
could go and
used to
get some
be
work done. So like I'm
I
good.
used to be a book geek. Like I used to read so much. I
Mm,
feel like, and I don't want nobody to take this wrong, but once I hit college and we had to read so much stuff, I don't know, it just kind of just knocked me out. I just haven't really
yeah.
got back on my book reading thing, and I'm trying to. And that's a goal of mine. That's a personal goal of mine to start reading back more books. Because at first I was listening to some audiobooks, but now I just really want to actually sit down,
Yeah.
shut everything off, and just read, read,
Yeah.
read. Yeah.
That's what I
And
do now too. I mean, I try to read as much as I can, but it's just like finding time for it. But then I'll get a book
mm-hmm.
on Audible or like listen to an audio book or whatever, like on YouTube sometimes. And I'm like, man, like they have some really good things they're saying in this book. So like I want to like read it and let it like soak into my
Sink
brain, you
in.
know?
Yeah, that's how I
You
feel
know?
sometimes when I with the audiobook. It just either I'm listening or not listening. So
Hmm.
that's why I just want to see the words. So that's good.
Right.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I want to ask, hearing that this is your profession and everything, and then seeing what you do with your YouTube channel. When you were younger, were you ever into the arts at all? Or, were you always just about, I don't know, were you always outspoken? I guess that's what I want to ask. And, were you always into kind of retelling stories that you saw on TV or film, or were you reserved and quiet?
So when growing up, I grew up with a whole bunch of cousins and everything, and we was just rambunctious and just doing everything. And so I was outgoing then. Get into high school, same way. I don't know, probably like when we get into college, I know I just kind of felt myself shrink back a little bit because it was a
Mhm.
different environment
Yeah.
and dealing with trying to figure out who I am. That also made me kind of like, shrink back a little bit until I had that figured out. Once that was good, I had a curveball with a death in the family, my uncle, and that kind of just shrunk me back a little bit. And so I just became really, really reserved. And I know that I'm an introvert, and that is something that I've been working on. See, and doing this is a step because usually I would have turned it down, but I was like, you know what, Ashley, just go ahead and do it. You're trying to step out your
Yeah.
comfort zone. If you want to be in this industry somewhat, and I really don't even know what part or literally what it is. I just like doing what I do.
Hmm.
And so I want to connect with people and I want to network more with people. And so that means you have to open up. You have to speak more. You have to just start doing more things that you're usually turning down because I feel like if I keep turning down stuff, I'm missing out on good opportunities. Could be. And that's what it is. So, just starting to do that more. And when it came to like YouTube, that's when it started. I feel like I just did that because I was a little bored. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bored.
Okay.
And I just started talking about certain stuff, but then I stopped because I was like, well, ain't nobody really watching, so I don't need to be doing this or whatever. And then I got distracted by some other things, school and everything else. But then I got some more time, and then just looking at different YouTube people that I actually connect with, I was like, you know what, let me just go ahead and try this again. And then I just learned like one thing about us Capricorns, we love consistency. So
Hmm.
I just have to push myself to be consistent, consistent, consistent. And that's why, if you watch my channel, it's like a video just about every other day, you know what I'm saying? Or a couple of videos every other day. And it's like a schedule. And then if I don't keep on that schedule, I feel off or like I'm not doing something that I'm supposed to. And I just use it as I guess like an outlet. And it was in that moment that I realized, okay, well, actually, people think you kind of funny.
Hmm.
People think you're kind of cool. Cause I really didn't see it like that. Cause when I tell you growing up, like, okay, we do our normal stuff, but I wasn't like the goofy kid or whatever. So,
Mm.
I don't know, it just came out. It's natural
It
now. So
is. It is. You're
yeah.
so natural at it. I mean, I find it so entertaining. I mean, for me, gosh, you said so many things that I can definitely like just sit on and talk about for a minute. But let's see. I think the first thing I'll talk about is just how I came across your YouTube channel. You know, we did the Oval, I think it came out in 2019, I want to say. And, for me as an actor, that was like my first, really like big opportunity, I would say, in terms
Mm-hmm.
of doing a series regular role on a TV show. And so it was just a cool time because we put this show out into the world, and then to like see people talk about it and tweet and stuff like that. And I don't know, I think I was like on YouTube because somebody had sent me an interview or something I had done, and then like your video, like
Popped
the
up.
little thing popped up, and I was like, wait, what is this? And so, and I just like sat and watched, and I was like, man, that's like you got to understand, like, for someone who's like just kind of getting started in that realm, to see someone you know receptive to like the work and also entertained by it and also can like retell the story of it in such a fun and entertaining way, like, I don't know. For me, it just was like really cool seeing that. I kept up with some of your videos over time and everything, and I'd be like, "Dang, okay, Ashley." But like sometimes I be like,
Oh, now that
no,
I
no,
know
no,
that
no.
we
It's
watching, I got
okay.
like, oh
No, no,
no, what am
it's
I
okay. It's
saying?
all no, but
Because
I love it though because it's like you said, we trying to find things to do sometimes, like when you're
mhm,
bored or what feel like we're all creative to a certain extent, and so it's just like you got YouTube, you got Instagram, you got TikTok, like
yeah,
we have these platforms to kind of share our thoughts and opinions and also like entertain other people too. And so it's just like, why not tap into that, tap into our strengths of, what we
yeah,
can
let's just
do,
have fun. That's how I
Yeah.
put my stuff out there. I don't want things to be so serious because let me tell
Hmm.
you something. You go on YouTube these days, and I'm not talking to see, I make it a point to not talk about any other creator because I don't want the drama. That's not what I'm
Hmm.
about. But you go and you scroll down, you can run into a whole
Oh
bunch of drama.
yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, let me just get on here and do my little fun stuff and pop
Yeah,
off. Okay.
exactly.
We can have fun in the comments and y'all can hit me up on my social media. But other than that, they're going back and forth. And
Hmm.
that's never been my thing. I don't like that. I don't like the messy. This is entertainment. This is fun. This is a release. We shouldn't be coming on
Hmm.
social media just to be so angry all the time. I mean, sometimes we are,
Yeah.
but then sometimes, we just gotta smooth it out, equal it out, you know?
Exactly. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
just like you said, I mean, there's a lot of negative things out there already, and it's just like, what you gonna put out there? You gonna be a part of that, or you gonna be a part of like
Yep.
the light of it all? You know what I mean?
You can
So,
control your own narrative. Mm.
exactly. So that's why, again, like that's why I wanted to have a little
So
sit down with you.
you really haven't been on any other like shows like as a series regular
No, I
before
mean,
COVID here?
I've done like recurring guest stars. Like I was
Uh-huh.
on Spike Lee's She's Gotta Have It season 1. I've done some films
On
and
Netflix?
yeah, on Netflix. Yeah.
Now I gotta go back and watch because that
Yeah,
was my
yeah,
show,
yeah.
and I was so
Yeah.
mad they canceled it too.
I know. I
Yeah,
know.
you said
Uh,
season 1.
wait,
Okay.
actually, wait. Was that on season 2? I think I was on season 2 because they only had 2 seasons. Lord, I can't remember what I did. Um,
We're gonna look it
But
up.
look, I'll say this, like I've been in the business since 2006. My first movie was this movie with Steven Seagal called Flight of Fury. It went straight to DVD, but it was my first role ever. I had a blast doing it. A reason why I wanted to, do my channel is to just kind of let people know, what really the life of an actor is, what the business is, because I think a lot of people think that it's always just like glitz and glamour. You're always on TV, you're, making
Yeah.
all this like crazy money. And it's just for every actor, it's different, I gotta say. But for me, what I really want to highlight is like the ebbs and flows of the business. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
be on these streaks where you're like working, 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 working. And then you'd be on these streaks where like you can't even get arrested. You know what I mean? Like nobody knows who you
Yeah.
are, like what you're doing, whatever. And so I've been at it since, 2006. And, I have these like pops here and there. And then it's like, I go back into the cave, and then it's like I come back and I go back to the cave. And so, for me, I mean, for years, I had been auditioning to be series regular on probably every TV show that's been made over the last 10 years or whatever. And finally, I landed the Oval. And like I said, prior to that, like, I'd done TV, like I've been on, different shows and stuff, but not as a series regular.
Right.
And so, I would just say like the oval was just one of the things that just, I don't know, it kind of, it gave me a bit of a, like a career boost, I would say. I guess, I don't know if that's even the right term, but it just gave me an opportunity to, play a
Yeah,
character on a series that ongoing. So,
put you out there. I like that.
yeah. So, it's been a fun ride, and it's funny always to see how people are receptive to it, and
Listen, that
it.
first episode was crazy. That's one thing I will say about the over. I will not forget that first episode when what is it? Victoria threw herself against the wall. I said, "What in the world is Tyler doing?" And that
Look,
literally what hooked me in. I said, "Oh yeah." And I said I was gonna watch it anyway because I watched the majority of Tyler Perry stuff, but I said, "What?" Tyler then went off the deep end, but let me keep on watching. And
I know.
that's
That's how I was
yeah.
reading the script. I was like, wait, what is going on? Like, what was that first video for you like? Do you remember your first video? What did you record on? All of those things. I'm just curious.
My very, very first video, because I had a previous channel before the one
Mm.
that I have now, my initial channel, but then it got deleted for whatever reason. I don't know.
What?
Till this day, I don't know. And like sometimes it do make me nervous to be on here. That's probably why I just don't get into a lot of stuff because YouTube can be a little fickle. So I'm just
Mm.
making sure I stay in code and not messing up no guidelines or whatever, because I love what I'm doing and I don't want to have to start over.
Mm.
And I remember how that felt when that happened, but it took me out. I said,
Wow.
wow. Okay. Because I was building up an audience. I think I had like 20,000 people then, or a little bit
Wow.
over that. And it just completely wiped out. And sometimes when you do that, it's like, are people really watching because they like you? Or if something was to happen, are they going to come back to you? How are they going to get to you?
Mm.
And thankfully, I was able to get that audience back and then some. So I just been real careful ever since, it's a little paranoia type of situation.
Wow.
But because
Dang.
that was back then when you first got on YouTube, I think the videos could possibly only be up to 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and then you have to become a YouTube partner to put on longer videos. And so you have to have a certain amount of time that you've been on YouTube or a certain amount of hours that you had before that you can even be considered to be a YouTube partner. And you have to have a certain amount of subscribership. And so, I think I was just talking about random stuff, whatever. Probably, me coming to terms with my sexuality and stuff like that. And then that's when I start doing TV reviews because it was the Tiny and Toya show that used to come on
Oh,
BET.
yeah.
And that was probably the one show that I used to talk about. And it was because it was cute because I like Tiny. I was getting to know Toya. I was like, okay, cool. And then I don't know what happened between that, but I just stopped. And
Mm.
then I came back and I know I started doing like Bad Girls Club. That's something that I really don't want to talk about. The record. Sometimes you be like, dang, you used to watch stuff like that. Yeah, I used to watch stuff like
I
that.
mean,
Used
I
to
think a
fall
lot of us
into it.
did. So,
And I was like, you know what? Because you look at it now and you look at some of the shows that's out on certain other streaming networks, and you're like, I have really grown up out of this because
mm.
I just can't stomach some shit. I'm like, how? Oh, sorry.
No,
I
you're
can't
good.
stomach some things because it's like, this is all that y'all doing. But with Bad Girls Club, that came a broader audience. And then, I had like some VH1 shows or whatever, the Love and Hip Hop. At one point, I did Basketball Wives. And that's when I say like Twitter and all of that was just starting to really, really kick up with the shows and everything. So people would be tweeting on Twitter and then they'd come right over there to YouTube just to see what people had to say. It just kept going up from there. So I just said, well, this is my niche. People like what they see. So I'm continue to just do what I've been doing and see where it takes me. And it's cool. And then that's when I
Nice.
started incorporating going back to, not just doing TV shows or talking about movies or whatever. I also put in little personal things or whatever. Cause now if you go on my channel, it's a lot of like personal videos and I have been getting a little bit more personal, than I usually have. So that's to further connect with your audience and to further build. And from what I'm getting, people love that. So, because I can be real closed off if you ask. But
I mean, yeah, I relate to that
mm-hmm,
for sure, big
mm-hmm,
time. I
yeah.
mean, it's funny to even be in the entertainment industry because I was always really introverted as a kid, and sometimes I am now. Like, I stay to myself for the most part, and so,
That's
but
just
this for me,
mm,
this virtual stuff and, the Instagram and the YouTubes and the Twitter, I don't even really tweet, but I'm on Twitter all the time. Like, I don't know, that to me, that it works for me. Like, I like that, like
yeah.
I feel connected that way, rather than like,
Social media, it can be a good time. It can be a
yeah,
fun time.
yeah,
And it can be like, oh, let me step back for a second because this
yeah,
is not
yeah,
it.
exactly. I'd be like,
It's a lot.
no more media today.
No, no,
I'm good. Let me read a book or watch something,
right. Y'all
So,
doing a lot today. But
yes.
mhm.
So I do want to just kind of park a little bit on, you talked about some of your first videos were about you discussing, discovering who you are and, your sexuality and everything. I'm just curious about what made you want to put that on YouTube and talk about that. Was it, I don't know, you tell me. I'm curious what that was, why you felt the need to share on, social media platform on YouTube and what that was like for you opening up like that.
Well, when I was growing up, I always I felt like I was different for a minute, but I just couldn't put my finger on it. And then when I realized what it was, I was like, is this really it?
Mm,
And so it came a point where I was actually on YouTube and I came across a lot of other creators who were just being themselves, who are lesbians or in the LGBT community. And I was like, you know what? I was really, really drawn to it. And I learned a lot off of YouTube, especially back then, because we had a lot of different smaller creators that was out back then. And I wish I could remember some of their handles and see what they're up to because they really helped a lot. And it was literally one who just broke down what sexuality is and all this stuff, and her process of come to terms with what she was and everything. And that video helped me. I can't remember what it was, but it just, I don't know, it just spoke to me like, okay, yeah, this is who you are.
mm,
And I remember the first person that I actually came out to fully was to my uncle, because he's a gay man. He was a gay man too. We had a little conversation, but he said, and I always tell the story, like he found something on my phone and he was just like, what's this? I said, I don't know, somebody just sent me some stuff. I was just trying to act like I didn't know. And not realizing that my uncle was gay,
mm,
but when he said, girl, now you know I'm gay, so I know what's going on. And I said, oh, okay, so let's talk. And that's literally just how it was. Like we just was joined at the hip ever since. Like it's like he took me under his wing
mm,
and made me feel really, really comfortable with what was going on. And then when I decided to finally tell my mother what was going on, I was so scared to do that I sent her a text message. And instead of just saying that I'm a lesbian, I said, I'm bisexual, because we grew
oh
up Jehovah's
wow.
Witnesses. And,
Mm,
they don't do all of that.
yeah.
And you got that fear of rejection and stuff. And she was like, are you sure? Which one do you like more? And I was like, I lied and said, guys, okay.
Mm,
And it was just nothing after that. But then later on, she was like, I already knew. I was just waiting for you to say something. So that made me feel good, seeing that I was seeing this on YouTube, seeing people who look like me, probably went through some of the same things like me, and they felt comfortable enough to put their story out there or to talk about their journey throughout what they're doing. And then people gravitating to them and not giving them negativity about it, but actually giving them more advice and stuff. And that's what wound up happening at the beginning. And that helped a lot. And I was just like, I just need to keep putting that out there because I possibly help somebody else. And it
mm-hmm.
also just continues to help me grow in who I am and be more confident. And back then I was young, so I'm new to all of this. I didn't have like what you would say, gay friends or anything like that. So I feel like when I put those videos out, it was like looking for a community, looking for
Mm.
some connection or whatever. And I got that. And yeah, that's what it is. I was like real thankful for my uncle too. So
Man,
that
that's
was a
so
good part.
good. I love that. And I mean, and I love that you were just inspired by other people's stories to share yours as well. I mean, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, like you never know who you're helping out there. You know, it's
Right.
like, I mean, because I mean, yeah, we're in 2022, 2023, or whatever, and everybody's like, oh, this is normal. But people still feel uncomfortable talking
Mm-hmm.
about, or sharing their story or figuring out who they are and finding their identity with that. And so I just think it's dope that you're willing to lead the charge in talking about, that. So,
It wasn't until like a couple of years ago that I felt comfortable enough to even say it at work. So,
mm,
and I've been saying it, and mind you, I have people that work in my job or work in the system that know me,
mhm.
that so they know some things, but to actually just say, yeah, I'm a lesbian and I like girls and all that stuff and boo boo boo. I was never able to say that. I never felt comfortable saying that at work, but it came up in a conversation somehow, and I just put it out there, and it was cool. And then I wound up working with somebody who was actually gay, so that was cool too. So felt a little comfortable. So I was like, okay, we could connect.
Yeah, there we go. I like
Yeah,
that.
trying to find my people.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, since you've been doing your videos though, and talking about that, have you had people reach out to you, like, thanking you or saying that they appreciate
I've
you sharing?
had that, and I've had parents come out
Mm-hmm.
and send me messages just talking and saying, how do they deal with this? Because some of their kids are probably like teens, young teens, and they're either, trying to decide whether or not this is really them or what should they do, how should they act, or, you know, things of that such. And that to get messages like that, it just always just blow my mind because I'm like, wow, I just never thought I would be that type of person that would be somebody would be asking for advice. And I'm just telling them, listen to what your child is saying.
Yeah.
Don't try to, force them to be what they're not. Just hear them out. That's the main thing. Just hear them out. And if you don't understand, it's good that you asking questions, but don't be so negative about it, because then that's going to have a negative effect on them, and then that's going to have a negative effect on your relationship. And at least they were comfortable enough to come to you and tell you, I'm having these feelings, I'm having these thoughts, been having these feelings, and this is who I feel that I am. And you just have to listen. So I was
Mm,
just like,
that's
that's
so
nice.
good. That's so
Mm-hmm.
good. That's such, I love that. You like warming my heart, Ashley. I love that.
Yeah, I can feel it like sometimes.
No, you are. You
Yeah.
are. Yes, yes. I love that. Man, okay. Gosh, like I said, there's so many things that you're just saying that I'm like, we can dissect and talk about for hours.
Mm-hmm.
But I think let's dive into the oval here. I know you said you've over the years you've reviewed. Actually, I don't want to go into the oval yet. What I do want to ask you about, so you start putting these videos together, you have your following, then you have to rebuild your channel over and over again. When did you start monetizing, and do you remember when you made your first dollar off of YouTube doing your channel?
I would say probably like in the very beginning when I did Bad Girls Club. That's
Mm.
when it started to get monetized, and I actually started to see something from it. And then, like when I went to do the Braxton Family Values, because that was another one. That was one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite shows to talk about too. Start seeing more input because everybody was into that. Tony Braxton coming out on a TV show. So that was like the big thing. And, you know, when the Love and Hip Hop situation came about, oh, everybody was coming in on that one. So I would say, like, when it really, really started picking up, it was around the Braxton Family Values and the Love and Hip Hop area. So I would say around that. So it was like a few years into it. And that's what people don't understand sometimes when they get on YouTube. um, YouTube or any social media platform, it takes a minute for your audience to build up.
Yeah.
And you have to have something that really draws them in. And I always somebody always asking, how do you start YouTube? How do you get to where you at? And I said, you always have to be authentic. Don't try to be anybody else because people will see right through that. And I've been on YouTube and seen people get called out for doing something that another creator has done or not giving credit to
Mm.
this. And it's like, because if you go in the area that I'm at, a lot of us is talking about the same thing. And what draws people in is the way that you put it out there, is your personality, is your, just you being you. And if they will spot that a mile away if you are copying somebody else's style.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, just be yourself, and you have to be consistent, and you just have to let it build up. It's not going to pop off right away unless you got somebody that's big backing you or whatever. It's not going to pop off right away, because it took me years to get to the place that I'm at now. And I think I've been on YouTube for over 10 years and
Wow.
probably been consistent with it for the last 5 or so.
Nice.
So yeah, it'll take a minute.
What
You
was
just
that
got to
like for
hang in there.
you though when you like saw your first like dollar or what is it like the AdSense?
Yeah, I was
Like what was
like,
that like for you?
I'm like, this is cool. This is cool. Because you hear about people talking about making money off of YouTube. And I was just like, how much money can they really be making? And then when you realize how much money people really make off of YouTube, like these big creators,
Oh yeah.
you're like, wow, some people literally are multimillionaires off in YouTube.
Yeah.
And just for putting up simpler videos of them just walking around or whatever. I said, wow, I wish I could be like you and just not do nothing and put my
Yeah.
stuff up. But it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. I was like,
Nice.
okay, felt like I was doing something.
Yeah. No, you are. I think it's so dope and I'm like I'm definitely behind the curve, but I've been jumping in because the thing I see a lot of is, now that we have all of the social media, so many people, especially like influencers and stuff like that, a lot of people want to get into the entertainment industry or be an
Mm-hmm.
actor. I can't tell you how many times I get people DMing me like, how do I get started with being an actor? How do I? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to just create my channel and talk about this and just share, from my journey, from my perspective,
Mm-hmm.
what it's like. And, hopefully I can help people like not make the mistakes that I've made, but, can also just help them figure out, how to do it,
How to go
So,
about it. Yeah.
yeah.
Gotta make those connections.
So it's definitely, I love it. I love YouTube. I feel like I watch YouTube more than I watch like regular TV or whatever. Cause,
At this point, yeah.
hmm
Because some of the stuff on TV, I'm like, girl, what is this?
yes,
Watch this.
I know.
I'm scrolling like I'm paying all this money for it and it ain't nothing on.
Yes,
Yeah.
I relate big time. You were saying about how you are consistent and I mean, do you have like a day, designated of filming or do is it like, oh, I just finished watching this. I feel like I already know the answer, but I'm just for people who don't know, I'm just curious, what is your recording process like? And do you hire somebody to edit for you or do you edit yourself? Do you time yourself? Like, what's your process?
Ooh, I'm just a on the fly type of person. I don't do all of that extra. Like I've been thinking now that I'm in a more, I'll say my space, I've been thinking about, possibly doing like the green screen type of situation
Mm.
and, just doing stuff like that. But, when it comes to editing and it comes to recording, it's no set time. It's just when the show goes off, I'm watching the show and it goes off, I just press record. Most of the time the camera's already set up. So I just go ahead and press record, and then upload. Depending on what it is, sometimes I don't necessarily really have to edit. Sometimes I do because I have to put some clips together, but it really don't take much
Mm.
or that long. When it comes to the length of the video, it depends on how good the episode was. Like if I'm watching a particular show and that episode was really, really good, that means I'm really, really about to get into it. But if it was just okay or it wasn't all that you'll probably get a short video from me. And it came to a point now that they be like, oh, if the video's short, we know it wasn't
Yeah.
good.
Like, I'm gonna pass on
But
this episode.
but I try to give, even if I feel like an episode or a movie or music, because sometimes I do talk about music as well. Whatever it is I'm talking about, if I feel like it's not as good, I still try to make my video entertaining enough for people to still tune in and watch, and then to still get some giggles from or whatever. Because I don't like to come, and I tell people this all the time, because some people be like, why don't you talk about this? Why don't you talk about this show or that show? Because I don't either have time to do it, or I don't like the show. And if I don't like something, I don't want to hate watch something and then get on camera and then completely be negative and bash it. Because that's not what I'm about. Even though I give my critiques on stuff, because I'm really, really honest, I will give my critique, but I will also find the positive and still make it enjoyable to watch and still say, go out there and watch it. Look at it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I am. But other than that, I do everything on my own.
Nice. That's like the best way to do it too. I mean, just like
Yeah.
have it like just super easy set up and like do your thing and then just bloop,
Yeah.
upload it. So
I
yeah.
don't want to have to wait on nobody else. I do know it's some creators that do have like their personal, and I don't feel like I'm at that level yet to need or have a personal editor or somebody to upload stuff. Like you got some YouTube creators that got like hundreds of thousands, like million subscribers, and they probably do got editors for sure. But yeah, I'm
But if you
just
keep it
going
simple
up.
too, then you don't need all of that, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I think you have the perfect setup going, like,
Yeah, not too
Yeah.
much, just enough.
hmm
And that'll be
Um,
it.
I'm just thinking right now because you were saying all of the different shows that you've reviewed. Do you have a like all-time favorite show at all?
You know what?
It could be okay, how about this? Let's do like genres. Do you have an all-time favorite reality TV show?
Now, back in the day, I used to love doing Braxton Family Values because that
Okay.
show was a key. And
Yeah.
then it was Love and Hip Hop, because in the beginning stages of Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta,
Uh-huh.
it was a mess.
Yeah, I do.
It was like, what is this that we watching? Who are these people? And they were characters. So I probably got some of my best stuff off with Love and Hip Hop, because it was just funny. Nowadays, I'm just like kind of over it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Braxton Family Values in the reality frame, because I feel like I'm more so liking family reality shows or whatever, or the more positive reality shows. I mean, we get our little drama here and there. That's fine. It's gonna happen. But when
Mhm.
it's just too much, I don't really like that anymore.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
we're grown now. Can we do something else? Can we be a little bit more, mature?
hmm
But yeah, those was a time. When it came to like sitcoms or whatever, I would say Halves and a Half Nots was one of my favorites to do. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that I was pleased with the ending, but
I know a lot of people were mad with that ending. Like,
I said,
dang.
so you just killed everybody off like that? Wow. I was so mad at that. I said, give us this again, because I don't know, maybe it was the pandemic and he was just rushing. I don't know. I just didn't like it, but it was one of my favorites to watch because that was different. That was different.
hmm
Um, I do Greenleaf,
Oh
Greenleaf,
yeah.
and one of my favorites now also is Queen Sugar, and I'm so mad that that's coming to an end this
Oh
season. We
yeah.
only got a few more episodes,
Man,
but
I've been auditioning for Queen Sugar since it came out, and now that it's about,
and
I'm like,
you from New
dang.
Orleans and you couldn't get on the
Yeah, I'm
show.
like,
That
what is
is
going
messed
on?
up.
And so, I mean, I
Like
auditioned for the
what?
pilot and everything. I was like, all right, okay,
You could have
well,
been one of the farmers' daughters, or one of the people's there. Like,
look,
hello.
I look at, I'm like, it just wasn't meant to be, and that's okay. So
Uh,
there'll be other opportunities down the line, for something like that. So,
you know, Speaking of stuff, when you did the Wendy Williams movie, I said, I said, okay, they got the right person for this because you played that shit. You played it well. I'm sorry, Chris. You played it
Okay.
well. I
Thank you.
you did a good job on that one, and
Thank
I
you
was
so
just like,
much.
you did good.
Man, look, let me tell you
What was that like?
that I gotta say, it was a really, really incredible experience. Like, we, I mean, I didn't told the story 100 times, but I didn't know what they were casting for the Wendy Williams movie. But people on
Hmm.
Twitter, when the Oval came out, people were like, "Oh, you should play Wendy Williams," and I was like, "Where is this coming from? Like, this is the most random, like I did." People were
Because,
like,
girl,
I was like, "What is going on?" And so, anyway, when I kept getting the tweets or whatever, and I guess that's when she announced that she was doing a movie, but I
hmm
didn't know because I wasn't watching Wendy at that time. And so, and then when I look back, looking at her old episodes or whatever, she was like trying to find an actress or something. She did like a thing of like. And so,
oh, she was looking for people. I didn't know that either.
yeah, like she was talking about it on her show. And so I guess people were like, oh, Ciera, whatever. So anyway, when I was getting those tweets and stuff, I just was like, all right, let me just start watching Wendy, like let me
Hmm.
watch her. Let me try to like pick it up or whatever, see if I can even try to play her or something. And so that was probably like 6 months or so, I want to say, before I even found out
Oh, you
about the
guys.
movie. And then I ended up auditioning for it. And then I go in and I audition, then I get a call back. And then they're like, we want you for the movie, but
But
y'all are going back to the Oval. And so I couldn't do the movie. I had to step out or whatever from doing the movie because I had to go and do the Oval.
conflict, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I was heartbroken. I was like, oh man, I want to, still do the Oval but also do this movie. And then the pandemic happened. And so both productions shut down. And then that summer, Lifetime reached out to me again and was like, we're going to do the movie. And then it was funny because literally the following week, we found out that we were going back to the Oval around the same time that Lifetime was going to do the Wendy Williams movie. And
They had you running
I was
ragged.
like, what is going on right now? I was like, what? Like, what do I do? And so it was so much stress for no reason. Like, it was just made no sense. And it just ended up working out. Like, literally, I end up going back to the Oval. Lifetime is like, oh, we had to push the thing back, X amount of weeks. And we still want, and I was like, okay, so anyway, but what it was like, I ended up getting to Canada, and I had to quarantine for 2 weeks. And so those whole 2 weeks, I was just like watching everything that had to do with Wendy
Wendy,
Williams.
so
And
Wendy was a
and
it was a time back in the day, child.
I know it definitely was a time. It's so, but everybody was just so cool. It was very supportive production and crew, and I mean the other actors that were in the movie, Morocco, and just everybody else. Like, we just had a really good time, and I mean I enjoyed it so much, and I got to speak with Wendy twice or 3 times about it, and I don't know, maybe I think I talked to her more than 3 times. I can't remember. But each time, like, she was super like cool and just being herself and everything. So yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I will say that movie was probably one of the Lifetime's better movies.
Oh
Because
man.
y'all know Lifetime be hit or miss.
Yeah.
But I say that movie, The Clark Sisters,
Oh yeah, the
that
Clark
was
sisters
another
was
movie that
good.
they did, and it was really good. Them my two top ones. I will say that. Because I
Awesome.
don't
Well,
really
thank
watch.
you. I'm
Yeah.
glad to be in the top two of yours. So
It
yeah.
was good and it was funny at the same
It
time. It's supposed to
was.
be fun. I mean, you know what? But see, I feel like Wendy really was like that because Wendy was a kid, like I said. Back in the day, that lady just was a lot. But you couldn't turn away.
So that's what that was like, and there'll be sure more things to come. So we'll see.
Definitely.
So I'm
Definitely.
curious because we're gonna have to wrap up real soon, but I'm just curious about if someone, like, if we were to do a movie or a TV show about you, First of all, what would it be about? And and who would you want to play you? That's what.
I don't know nobody that be playing. Listen, I probably want somebody new in the business to play me that can actually act. That's because I want to give somebody a fresh start. Uh, of course, it'll just be about the journey of, finding myself and being comfortable with that. And then, I don't feel like I'm really that interesting, though. I always say that. I say, I don't feel like I'm that interesting.
No, don't
For
even
a
because
movie, for
look,
a movie.
you
Listen,
are
all I do
you turn the camera on yourself, so there has to be something in
that,
you
listen,
that
I don't
feels
know.
like
Soon as the camera go off, I'm quiet. I'm to myself. That camera come on, I'm just like lit up or whatever. I don't know. It just a light switch comes on. I'm just here about my TV shows, my love for Beyonce, and
Mm.
all of that. That's it. That's it. I'm really simple like that. And I do my work and I get on camera and I like to have fun and you know, that's just it.
Would you ever want to get into writing or directing or like would you want to get on that side of the business at all?
I always thought about, I said, if I was to ever get into the entertainment business, it'd be behind the scenes all the time.
Mm.
hmm So I would like to see how the sets work and a writer's room and, director stuff, whatever. Because I do have a couple of people that actually do follow me from certain shows because they do watch some of my videos. What is one of the creators? I think her name is Ciera. I think she did Moesha and them back in the day.
Oh
She's on
wow.
Queen Sugar. She's one of the
Mm.
directors on Queen Sugar. So, she follows me and okay, what was I supposed to say? Yeah,
All
behind the
right.
scenes is, but I just blinked out for a second. Behind the scenes, I always like that. I never really want to, I never had thoughts of like, oh, I want to be an actress or whatever. I never wanted to be famous. That's the thing. I never had those thoughts. I never want to be
Mm-hmm.
famous or whatever. But then once I started getting into YouTube and, seeing how that's taking off and people taking to me, which I never thought that that would happen ever. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, you know what? Since I'm analyzing all this stuff, I do want to see how things work. It always fascinated me to just go behind the scene and see how that a whole movie or a whole TV show or whatever just comes together and the people and the moving parts behind it. That has always been interesting to me. So, you know,
Well, I gotta say, you're definitely a very, very good storyteller. So I think that is definitely up your alley. And if you want to do something like that, like seriously, go for it because I think you can do it for sure. And definitely
I've been thinking about it.
soar in it for real.
I've
So
been thinking about possibly looking into taking like some workshops or some classes.
yeah.
I wanted a mentor or I've just been trying to network, trying to put myself out there to network some more and to see who will bite or whatever. But try not to give up on stuff and just keep on doing what I do.
Yeah, you should look into Women in Film. That's an organization, and it's like
Okay.
every like every female TV show, movie writer, director, produce like
Women in
they're
film.
all a part of Women in Film. They have one in New York and one in Los Angeles, but everything's virtual and online nowadays anyway, so it doesn't really matter like which one you join, but yeah, I would say like
I'll
look
look that
into
up.
it. They have so many resources. They're like doing a contest right now too. So it's a good organization or just even like sign up for their mailing list. It's like they got a lot of good stuff that they offer. So yeah.
I'll look
So
that up.
well, Miss Ashley, I'm trying to think, is there anything that you want to share? Anything that, you felt like we didn't touch enough on? Any questions you may have or whatever before we wrap up and let you go?
I think we did good. Listen, I got a little comfortable
All
towards the middle
right.
of it. So yeah, we
Good,
did
good,
good. We did
good,
good.
good. We didn't we didn't we
Okay.
didn't take you too far out of your comfort zone.
No,
No, okay.
anything you wanted to ask me, you could ask me. I'm literally an open book. You just got to ask the questions. I
Okay.
answer. Mm-hmm.
All right,
I'm
cool.
good.
Well,
I'm
like I
so glad we
said,
did this.
I so appreciate you doing this and just stepping into the In Tribe. Again, this is I call it the a place for the inspired, thriving tribe, and I just feel like you are one of those people. So thank you
I
for
appreciate
stepping
it
in.
because sometimes when we creators just do what we do, and sometimes we feel like we're not being looked at or whatever, like sometimes it's going unnoticed. And so to have somebody that actually watches something that I talk about because they're in it, and then to just reach out to me, that was amazing. I like that. Made me feel good.
Aw, thank you. Well, it made me feel good that you were, receptive and open to having a little chat.
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate that.
Listen, I
Thank
mean, we converse sometimes on Twitter, so
you. Yeah,
I said I'm
yeah.
gonna have to go ahead and do this. Give it
Yeah.
to her. It's nice.
All right. Well, can you tell everybody where to find your channel and where to find you on social media?
So my channel is Ashley Miller TV on YouTube, and then all of my social media handles on Twitter and Instagram is Ashley Shy Miller, and that's SHY, Ashley Shy Miller, one word. And 9 out of 10, you'll find me on there at any moment.
All right. Again, Ashley, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and keep putting out your content. We enjoy it. So,
Thank you so much.
all
Thank you.
right. Okay. Bye.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to the In Tribe Talks. That was Ashley Miller. I had such a great time talking with her. And if you want to find out more about Ashley or check out her channel, please hit the links below and go ahead and hit her up and watch her channel. And look, guys, I so appreciate your support with this channel. And if you liked anything here, please go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and hit subscribe. You can also hit the little bell so you can know whenever I upload a new video. And I am so looking forward to seeing you at the next one. But until then, please keep thriving, stay inspired, and I will see you soon. All right, take care. Bye.